All right. Hello, Home Service Pros. Welcome to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast, episode number 99. Today we have a special guest on the show, Mr. Taylor Tribioli from Copperhead Plumbing. We had a great talk talking about their company specializes in plumbing for new home builds, custom home building. And then a couple years back, and they've been doing that for 15 plus years. And the founder had been doing it for 40 plus years. But then a couple of years back, also, they opened up to residential plumbing services. So we had a really good talk about systems and people, and I'm sure you'll get some tidbits out of it. So without further ado, let's introduce Mr. Taylor Tribioli, Copperhead Plumbing, out of the Denver metro area.
Welcome to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast for Contractors. Get actionable advice and tactics on how to grow your home service company, plus interviews with industry experts dropping value bombs in marketing, sales, and operations. And now, let's power up your home service biz with your host, Mark Ambrose of Battle Plan Marketing.
All right. Welcome to the podcast, Taylor.
Thanks, Mark, for having us. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on the show today, man. We're really happy to have you on. So let's dive right in. No small talk. We'll get right to it. So tell us what you guys do, who you do it for, and where you do it.
Yep, absolutely. So Copperhead Plumbing is based out of Denver, Colorado, and we serve what's called kind of the Denver Front Range. So it goes anywhere from Castle Rock, Colorado, up to the northern parts of the city, maybe Thornton, Loveland, that type of area. Nice. But really, there's two kind of distinct sides to Copperhead Plumbing. One, and kind of where we started back in 2007 was with new custom homes. So we did custom home plumbing for from 2007 to 2020. So that would be 13 years.
No kidding. Right through that downturn.
Yep.
Also.
Yep.
Good for you.
That. And when we say custom home, I feel like custom's a pretty freely used term anymore, but when we say custom, it's a true custom. They're not production customs. They're people going to find a builder to draw out their plans, and then we build the plumbing system off that. So our guys are very versed in all of the high-end fixtures, from Brizo to Grohe to higher-end Deltas and Kohlers and Mohens. So it's a great training opportunity for a lot of our guys. But in 2020, as kind of a service to our builders and then grew from there, we started a service side to our company.
Wow.
Open to the public. And that's really when we started to kind of move to online advertising and focus on Google My Business and focus on different metrics and how long are we on jobs, that type of all that stuff that comes with the service side of it. But yeah, as of today, 2022, we've had a service company for 2 years, and that's really been the two distinct sides to Copperhead Plumbing.
Nice. So just 2 years ago, started with the residential service, huh?
Yes, sir. Yep. And originally it came from, like I said, a lot of our builders after that year warranty period.
Oh, I see.
They would still be in the homes that they build, right? The homeowners are still reaching out to the builder and asking if the plumber can come back out. And unfortunately, we just didn't have the staff to service it on our custom home side. So we thought, well, hey, why not branch into service? Let's get some vans. Let's, wrap them. And then in the downtime when we're not serving our custom home partners, we can work on getting out to the general public.
I like it. Brilliant. So I'm interested in how you survived the housing destruction from 2007 to about 2011, maybe 2012 till it started turning. So I realize that's a relationship business, right? So that's why you had to start marketing in 2020. Prior to that, everyth's pretty much relationships with architects and builders and such, or
primarily with builders. It's really only with builders. But Brian, when he started it in 2007, he was actually a part owner of another plumbing company that got sold. And when it got sold, after his non-compete clause window, he started Copperhead Plumbing and got back into the custom home field again. And fortunately, during that time, there was a lot of renovations and surprisingly enough, the custom homes, while it slowed, it maybe didn't slow as much as some of the production homes, which was good. But then also it was a matter of running lean from 2007 to even today, right? We don't have office space. We have warehouse space, but we don't really have brick and mortar office space. A lot of what we do from a office standpoint can be done remote. Everything nowadays is a very remote thing, and you don't need that mortar side to it anymore. So that's kind of how he operated from '07 until 2011 and really kept busy. He still ran 3 trucks at that time, if not 4. I think there might have been a 4th truck that he was running at that time. And so, was able to stay busy enough between, custom renovations and custom homes. After 11, when new home builds started picking back up, obviously the renovations started to kind of die back down, but that was okay. You get bigger crews to go in the new homes. But that's how we kind of got through that time period there.
So when production housing increased again, 2011, 2012, or whatever, that really didn't affect you a lot because you're dealing with custom homes, higher end, right? So production homes weren't in your ballpark at all.
No, we've never really done production homes. I never have done production homes. We're just not set up for it. You need big crews that can come out, knock out a rough-in in 2 or 3 days. A rough-in for us on our bigger homes can take us 1 to 2 weeks. So It just depends on what the setup is for it.
Different world altogether. Did you get involved in the sales side then also during the home design? Like you were saying, the fixtures and all that. Do you get involved in that, or are you just simply installing? Not on the sales end, or yes?
Nope. So we do get involved on the sales end. But again, in terms of keeping overhead low, we've partnered with a company, again, that Brian's known for the better part of 40 years now, called Mart Supply, called Denver, Colorado, but it's a little bit north. But either way, what'll happen is once they select us as the plumber, if that builder chooses to have us supply the fixtures or that homeowner chooses us to, they can go work with some of the sales reps out there at Mart Supply, pick out what they want, and then obviously we extend our discounted price.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Nice. I saw on your site you did, I think it was in 2020 maybe, was your milestone of over 1,000 custom homes. That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Definitely.
And you brought up Brian a couple of times. So I'm sorry, that's your father?
Yes, Brian is my father. Yep, Brian is my father. So.
Nice. So he goes in the Wayback Machine. How many decades has he been in the plumbing? He's a master plumber?
He's a master plumber. I think he's had his master's plumbing license since he was 25. So he's 60 now. So it's at 45 years. So
wow. He's got some skills.
He definitely does. And then shortly after he got his master's license, he became part owner of that other company that sold back in 2006. So he was there for 20 plus years.
Was the previous company he worked with, were they in the custom home building side also?
They were. Yep.
Nice.
So that's what they focused on as well. So that's really where kind of his in terms of plumbing niche comes. But like we always talk about, and what's been great for our guys, especially on the service side. So all of our guys are kind of trained on our custom side and then promoted from within.
Nice.
And this might be going off topic a little bit, but
no.
Kind of our theory is always hire, train, work them through their apprenticeship into their journeyman license. And then the nice part is when we put them in like a service truck, if they run into those Growies or those Brizos or anything like that, it's not a shock to them. They're not having to call one of the field supervisors to try to figure out what's going on with it. They've put them in, they've installed them, they know the inner workings of them. So it's a great opportunity for our guys to really learn about, not that other plumbing companies don't run into it, but learn about those, kind of high-end fixtures that have a lot of components that you don't see every day in the field.
Yeah, a lot of them are like electronic components and stuff, I imagine, right?
Yeah, you definitely run into that, especially when you're mixing in steam units with it too. Seen some pretty unique combos.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, sure. If you can work in that high-end world, then anything is possible after that.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. How about, so it sounds like lean and mean. So in the service biz, what do these guys take their truck to the warehouse? How are you keeping track of inventory?
Yep. So right now we use a system called House Call Pro. It doesn't track inventory, but we're switching over to Service Titan, which will start tracking inventory for us. Probably go to a system kind of where you scan a certain barcode. We know what you're taking out of there that day. So if you're running gas pipe, we know how many feet of, say, 1-inch black iron pipe you're taking out of there for that day or what fittings you're taking. Their trucks are supposed to be stocked and not supposed to be. They are. Our guys do a great job. They'll come into the warehouse once a week, sometimes more if they choose to. We have some guys that live nearby and just like the, I think, camaraderie of coming by every day, which I'm fine with. It doesn't hurt anything. But if they don't live nearby, our rule of thumb is you go straight to your job site, have the kind of the necessities, right? Hose bibs on there, garbage disposals, any copper PEX fittings that you might need, any ABS PVC fittings that you might need, all of just the general kind of, I don't know what you would deem commodity stuff or what's most likely to break down in a house. We have cartridge kits on our truck, but it's getting harder and harder. Everybody's going to different cartridges by model. So more than likely what we have to do is go pull it, look at it, then go get it.
Faucet cartridges, you mean, or?
Faucet, shower, yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to keep everything in stock. But they're like centrally located, so you got a quick trip back and forth kind of usually, or the warehouse?
Yep. So our warehouse is centrally located, and then also we have vendors on the north side of Denver, on the south side of Denver.
Nice.
The central part.
Nice.
We have a few guys that live on the south end of town. Those guys, if they leave from home, need something, they know the vendor they need to go, and vice versa.
Sweet. So transitioning from House Call Pro to Service Titan for the price book and inventory control and stuff?
Actually, doing it for a few reasons. In my past, I've had some experience with Service Titan, and I really like it. I think it's a great platform. Not that House Call Pro isn't a great platform either. Really, a lot of the components that they have to it are great, are the accounting integration, right? So right now, again, not that it's House Call Pro's fault, but ours never fully synced. So, we're having to pay an accountant to go in and plug things in. And obviously that's costly on the back end of it. So if we can get that from Service Titan mixed with all the other stuff that they have, inventory control, their marketing components that they have are pretty phenomenal. Their sync up with Google My Business, which House Call Pro has as well, to get reviews is pretty amazing as well. So just all of that.
So you're actively soliciting reviews in the field. Your techs do it after the job, or kind of right now, or?
Yeah. So the way we do it, I've never been a big fan of like pushing that. Hey, can you leave me a review? I feel like it's when you go to I have a Ford. So when I take my Ford truck to Quick Lane, they always say, give me 10 stars, and it hurts me. I'm like, okay. I don't like that. But what'll happen is as soon as we close a job, that customer is prompted to leave a review. And so our big thing on the service side, as it is on the custom home side too, is customer service, right? If we feel that customer is not happy when we're leaving, they can call, my tech can call me, my field manager, Bobby, Brian, somebody to help kind of smooth it over, right? Because even though the tech might have done everything they possibly could, if somebody's frustrated, it's always nice to, hear from somebody else at the company. So that's our big thing is customer service. And in doing that, my opinion, my belief is that we'll get that influx of reviews. And I've been really proud of our team. In kind of less than a year when we moved to House Call Pro, we've gotten 77 5-star reviews. So I'm pretty happy with them for that. I mean, I know there's always room for growth in it, but I think they've done a great job of really pushing customer service and making sure that they're communicating to me if there are any issues before it goes on.
Yeah. No, 77 is good. And just a year and a half, 2 years since you kicked on to service biz. So that's real good. You're proactive. I agree. Let your service and quality stand out, but you do have to ask. So your software does that for you. So that's great. Can you imagine surviving? There's a lot of service guys out there and gals who don't use a CRM, no software. Can you imagine working in the world without any of these softwares?
I really can't. I guess it's what you're comfortable with, but coming up through my career, I've always had them and always having something that I can access from anywhere, whether it be my cell phone or laptop, or even if I'm out of town and camping and somebody else's laptop, right? I mean, that's the great thing about this CRM is it's not, if I forget my Padfolio at home, I'm not having to worry about, oh shoot, how did I write that down? It's right there at your fingertips. And then it helps with forecasting as well, right? I'm very big on forecasting. I know what we've done our previous month. And I think in terms of growth and then planning to hire new employees, you kind of need to be able to see where you're heading to and what you're trending towards. And to answer your question, I know it's a long-winded answer. No, I couldn't imagine that. It's phenomenal. Time tracking, timekeeping, right? We used to use those old handwritten time cards. I think everybody did, right? And so much easier.
Yeah. We're just trying to drive it home for the audience is all that there's a lot of people out there not using software. I get it. Software is a pain in the ass. You're a plumber, roofer, electrician, whatever. But it'll save you so much work. You get control of your jobs, your schedule. Like you say, being able to look into the future and plan out your labor and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
How about, so you also touched on marketing. So since you started the service business, sounds like you're proactive in optimizing your Google My Business with now Google Business Profile, your Yelp. What other kind of things you're doing out there? You're running Google's search ads and things? Or?
Yep. So we have Google search ads. We've broken it out into two categories, kind of emergency services, which would consist of a leaking pipe, water heater malfunctioning, whether it kind of blows out or just hot water. But we have two different segments to Google Ads. One's is emergency service, and then one's just some of our higher end or higher price point offerings, right? So we do a lot of gas pipe up in Denver. Mm-hmm. And so that's always a pretty, it's something you can complete in a day, but still profitable component or service piece that we offer. People can't do at home, right? A lot of customers now, they're changing out their own fill valves, and that's okay. Yeah. That's awesome. Good for them. But no different than me, right? I'm not an electrician. I would want to have somebody who didn't know what they were doing, installing some sort of electrical in my house. So yeah, that's the nice part about gas pipe, right? Is homeowners really aren't doing it. It's weird. You don't see a lot of other plumbing companies advertising for it, but we have on Google, and we've had great success with that. And then Google local service ads we have running as well. And I'd say in terms of our online stuff, that probably is 60% of our online bookings is Google local service ads. Oh. It's a pain up front, but once you get it going, it's...
Yeah, you got to go through the review and all that, all your employees and stuff, and setting it up. Yeah. So you're getting more leads from that than you are from the Google search ads?
Yes. Yep. I would say, we get more quality leads from Google local or Google LSA than we do from Google search ads. Google search ads, it's a lot of kind of people wanting to price out people, which again is fine. We're appreciative of that. But Google LSA is more in the week, for the week. Hey, we need somebody out here. It's more of an emergency type call than just
So you run a 24/7 on-call guy or?
Nope. So we run 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On occasion, if something comes up where it's for one of our past clients or maybe just somebody in distress, what we will do as our company and as our commitment to our guys is we'll never force them to work a weekend. But if they want the opportunity to get overtime, we'll reach out to each one of our service guys, see if they want to take on that job on the weekend. If they do, then we'll book it. If not, then we're very transparent with the customer that, hey, we're not in the business of forcing our guys to do it. We'd love to help you out, but we understand if you need to call another plumber.
Yeah, 100%. So if a call comes in though Monday through Friday, I don't know, 10, 11 p.m., you got a service, answering service, and then you just handle that in the morning or?
Nope. Actually, our phones shut down at 7 p.m. So we have all of our Google ads to shut off at 7. We have our LSA to shut off at 7. If it comes in after 7, it forwards to my cell phone or somebody else's cell phone, and we'll pick it up or have them leave a message on there and get to them.
Gotcha.
We like that work-life balance for our guys. We don't want to beat them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Otherwise, your turnover would be high, and you spend a lot of time, money, and effort training.
Absolutely.
So gas pipes. So that's interesting. So I'm from the East Coast. I actually worked with a plumber in high school, and we did a lot of gas pipe. I constantly remember cutting and threading pipe out by the truck a lot. So tell me, why is gas pipe, like what forces a gas pipe job order?
Well, you have a lot of people, especially with obviously being in Colorado, right? People still like to be outside in the wintertime, but the big thing's fire pits, right? Oh. That's kind of our biggest drivers is fire pits and gas barbecues. Well, and I guess even gas ranges. Everybody seems to be moving away from the electric ranges. They want a gas range put in, which those are pretty simple. Especially in Colorado, you can run everything in the basement and stub up through the floor. Right. When you're doing stuff outside, it gets a little bit trickier, but there's always a way to make it happen if somebody's willing to let us take our time and pay the price for it as well.
Yeah, no, I like it. So the boom in fire pits is mostly responsible for a lot of gas pipe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Seems to be a big component to it for us.
That's wild, man. So do you guys sell like the fire pits, or they just buy that online or Lowe's or something? And then
yeah, they just buy that online. Usually they've already found one that they like, and they'll call us and we'll get out there and start running it. The only thing we really have to worry about is making sure it's sized correctly.
Yeah. How do you know that? Like you have to get out there first, see what they got, 3/4 inch or something.
Yeah, get out there and see how far of a run it is, see what, size gas pipe they already have. Yeah, gas pipe's one of those things. We try to do a lot of virtual estimates.
Oh, wow. Nice.
One, just with COVID, but then two, it saves us a lot of time. Right. It saves us a lot of gas money, a lot of time. We can do virtual estimates, via FaceTime, via WhatsApp, via just pictures if people want to send those to us too. We can estimate a lot of stuff like that. But gas pipes, typically the one item that we still always want to go out and get eyes on before we make the appointment for them.
That's cool. That's great. I like the virtual. So that saves the customer money too. You don't have to come out to provide the estimate.
Yep. And they don't have to worry about having somebody in their home during that period. And
Right.
so it allows them to build that rapport with us to see if we're a good fit.
You're working with them instead of, we can only be here during this time, need somebody to be home kind of thing.
Exactly.
Little flexibility, more customer service.
Yep, absolutely.
Any common myths about plumbing industry that you'd like to debunk at all?
I don't know if there's, I guess maybe not from the customer standpoint. I think from a career standpoint, it's still one of those things in high school that, I wish people would, with any trade, whether it's plumbing, electrical, any, I guess what you want to call skilled trade where you have to go and learn about it. High school counselors or people just view it as kind of it's blue collar construction. And hey, yeah, you are working with your hands, but it's a phenomenal career for anybody who wants to get into it. And again, that goes for plumbing, electrical, HVAC. It's no different. You hear about all these amazing service companies out there where you've got these business-minded leaders that just decided to learn a trade and they've taken it. It's not just a job for them, it's a career. And I think that's the only thing that I would ever really want to debunk is plumbing. Any service job can be not just a job, but a career overall.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. I agree completely. It's also a little bit safe from corporate takeover, right? So company moving in and just taking over your whole neighborhood, it's probably not going to happen, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the plumbing. So in a house, that's probably the most used function of a house. So obviously things are going to break down a lot. Great careers. Right, good money, hard work, but requires skills, requires knowledge acquired over time. Can make some serious money. Open your own business. There's nothing not to like about the service industry.
I think too. The more if you ever wanted to, this is what I always tell my guys. If they would want to learn more, I'm happy to walk them through estimating. I'm happy to walk them through the accounting side of it. Whatever they want to learn, I'm always happy to sit down with them. It's no different than any other industry, right? If you come out of college as an accountant, but you never take the initiative to talk to your higher ups, you're not going to learn any more about that field.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And running a business is very different than, being a skilled tradesman too. So a lot different skill set. In fact, you're probably not going to, soon after you open your business, probably not going to be in that servicing that trade anymore yourself. As long as you're doing it right anyway, down the road, you should not be a plumber or electrician or a roofer anymore. You should be a business owner.
Right. You're more in the office at that point. Absolutely.
Yeah. You're in the plumbing business, roofing business, electrical, but you should not be that roofer anymore.
Yep. Absolutely.
What's, so looking back, so you guys have been in business a long time. Your dad's got a lot of experience there. What would you say is something you wish you knew in the beginning in 2007 that you know now? Anything you could pick out of a hat?
I think the biggest thing, and this probably goes for anybody, right, is just your online presence, right? I think that's kind of the biggest thing. The sooner you can start that, the better off you are with even like Google LSA, right? The more reviews that you have, or the more quality reviews you have, the more pictures that you have, the better off you are. And so I think that would be the thing. Back when Google My Business first came around or became popular, I want to say it was 2014, 2013 is when it started taking off. If you could have got in at the top of that instead of 77 today, maybe we'd have a couple hundred. Yeah. So, but it's always hindsight, right? You look back and say, well, wouldn't it have been great if we would have hired 3 more guys back in 2007 and grown faster then? So hindsight's always 2020, but I think that'd be the one thing is just never forget the importance of online marketing. It's crucial.
Yeah, that's a good one. Super glad you brought that up, of course. Not marketing, business, digital. But our whole industry, every industry has moved online.
Yep.
And then it was already accelerating, but the pandemic probably sped it up by like 10, 15, 20 years now. So allowing companies to change the way they do business, right? So you don't have an office, you have a warehouse, that kind of thing. So adjusting with the time and seeing it, like you're saying, forecasting, being able to look into the future, not just for labor and jobs, but where's society going? Yep. So yeah, I agree. We all wish we got online quicker.
Right.
And that it wasn't as big an impact on all of our businesses as it is. It's a giant impact. Everybody's pulling out their phone and looking most on Google, plumber near me, electrician, roofer near me, that kind of thing. So if you're not on there, we're ghosts, right?
Yep.
To our prospects. So I agree. What's your favorite part, would you say, Taylor, of being a business owner?
There's a lot of components to it. One, I think it's obviously from a selfish perspective, it's fun to be in charge of your own destiny, right? I mean, it's kind of up to you to make sure that we have enough work for all of our guys to continue working, that we have a great company where people want to continue to stay here. So I think that's the fun component to it, right? Is continually working on that, hearing what your employees have to say, hearing what your customers have to say, and continuing to change and adapt as needed for the times. I mean, you brought up COVID. I think that changed things, well, for a lot of people, right? But definitely for our company as well. You can't just walk into homes anymore and communicate face to face. So communicating virtually, working with them virtually, I think all of that has been great stuff that came from it. And I know that's, kind of going up, again, a little bit off topic of what's the fun part of owning a company, but I think it's the adaptation. How do you adapt to what's going on in the world, and how do you adapt to what your customers' needs are, and how do you adapt to what your employees' needs are too? So
yeah,
I guess, again, broad answer. It sounds like just about everything, but it's a fun challenge every day. And ultimately that's what drives us.
Yeah, no, I like it. So you started off there where it was about people, yourself and your customers and your employees, and then grew into adapting challenges, overcoming challenges. And those things keep our day-to-day fresh too, right? So if everything's the same every day, life gets old, right? So I seen a great meme. There was a giant boulder in the middle of a road, and it said, "The obstacle is the path." And we actually love that, right? So we don't like the challenge maybe in the immediate time, but then you look back at it and you go, wow, that was super helpful. And I learned this, that, and the other thing from it. So,
and you definitely do learn from it. I mean, a lot of the policies that we have in place, procedures that we have in place have been adapted from things that we've learned in the past, right? Like having CRMs, putting customer notes in, right? That's because one time we forgot, we had a mad customer that we did something wrong, and we forgot about it, knowing now, hey, let's put it in the notes so the next tech that goes out there knows about it. So, I mean, it's a small example, but absolutely
perfect
having
example.
those bad at the time, but even though it's a unfortunate experience, you definitely learn from it and grow from it.
Yeah. If you take that time to, analyze it, and how do we improve it? What did we do wrong, and how do we not do this in the future, or try to reduce it as much as possible? So yeah, I agree. All those things are good. What advice would you give to somebody just starting a skilled service company, skilled trade company right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go back to the online presence, right? Is if you want to grow it, definitely get the Google My Business started, Google LSA, Google Ads. I mean, everything Google that you can get going would be the first place I start. I know a lot of people think Facebook. I mean, again, great marketing platform, but I don't think it drives, at least from our company, we don't get, what we get from Google from Facebook. So, I would definitely start with everything Google. And then I think the biggest thing is trying to get out of the field, spending time in the office, making sure that you're setting up the proper CRM, setting up proper practices for your business, lining out inventory for your trucks, all of those type of things. So as you start to get that business in, you're growing not only the top line, but making sure that your bottom line isn't eating away at any of your profits too. A lot of guys that I've run into, they have phenomenal companies, but they're not organized, or they don't have a process in place. And I think that just kind of kills any profit that you had and any success that you might have moving forward.
Yeah, that's great advice, actually. And it starts there with the pricing, right? So you got to get your pricing correct. You got to have all those indirect costs, your insurance, your trucks, your labor, everything, your vacation, your benefits, right? So it all starts there. So you're right. There's so many super skilled tradespeople out there that say, hey, I'm going to open my own business, and they're great at what they do. But now it's a business. Now it's all this other stuff that maybe they're good at, maybe not. Maybe they learn and dive into, maybe not. So you gotta take it on one step at a time. Okay, so processes are big for you, it sounds like. So SOP, standard operating, but I can't even say it. Standard operating procedures. Sounds like you got a lot in place. Can you talk about that a little bit? Do you get feedback from employees and customers on how you can improve processes? And give us a little bit about that.
Definitely. So, I think we have a fair amount in place. We try not to get too nitpicky with them, but the biggest side is from our customer standpoint. Whenever we go onto a job site, before we start anything, for our protection and for the customers, we make sure that we get signatures before we start them. I think one of it was there's a video on YouTube about these guys pulling up a deck, but they're at the wrong house. And the lady's sitting inside. She's not the friendliest about it, but saying like, oh, I'm excited to get a new deck. I always have that fear in my mind. Like, well, what if we go to the wrong house and we're doing something? Our process is, before we get there, we have somebody sign. That way they know the price up front too, right? And then we sign when the work's completed. That way, kind of that's signature saying, 1, what was completed. 2, you're happy with the work that was completed. And 3, our tech walks you through it. Again, this is for our protection and for the homeowners. I think the worst part is when somebody calls and they're like, hey, I don't know how to use this. Your tech didn't show me. I can go back, not in a smart ass way, but say, hey, listen, we got your signature. Did he walk you through it? And if she says no, or he says no, then I can at least go back to my tech and say, hey, if we didn't walk him through it, why did we have him sign? So those are the type of procedures that we have in place just to make sure that our techs are taken care of, the customer's taken care of, and we're all on the same page when we leave the house.
I like it. I like how you started with quality control procedures too. That was good.
Right. That's really what we focus on. I mean, we have small ones for our trucks, right? I mean, but that's not customer facing. That's more so internally, what should be on your truck, what shouldn't be on your truck, how your truck should be taken care of, all that type of stuff. But
right. That's internal.
That's the boring stuff that everybody.
Yeah, well, I like that. You brought up the one about quality, so that's perfect. Let's talk about plumbing a little bit, actually, Taylor. So there's 3 pretty big profit margin centers for a lot of plumbers: water softeners and filtration systems, leak detection, which leads to maybe, you got slab foundations in Colorado, or mostly basements?
There's a few that have started like to pop up just to save on some of the.
I see. So it's mostly basement.
Yeah, I'd say it's 95% basements.
Right. Sorry, I strayed there. So leak detection, another big profit center, and then drain cleaning, router service, which throw a camera down there. Some of the jobs lead to sewer line replacement or pulling a liner through or something like that. So do you target any of these 3 profit centers or?
Yep. So whole house filtration, leak detection, we definitely do. Drain cleaning was kind of just like for us, mainly because we haven't invested in the equipment for it. I mean, we have drain cleaning equipment, but we don't have like the mainline sewer cleaning. We don't have camera scoping. So we haven't focused on that too much. The bigger things that we focus, which you're right, a great profit segment is whole house filtration systems, and then leak detection as well. Those are our 2 of our biggest profit components. I mean, water heaters, of course. I think that's for everybody.
Everybody, water heaters. Yeah. So do you is there hard water? It's hard water almost everywhere, but I think
there's hard water, especially in certain parts of Denver, certain cities. We'll get a lot more calls. For instance, Castle Rock, Castle Pines, Parker, southern part of Denver, we get a lot of calls about hard water and seeing what we recommend. If we supply the whole house filter, we always recommend the Springwell 3-step filter, or the Halo Mini 3 is what a lot of our guys put in.
Nice.
We get a lot of people on well water in the outskirts of Denver. And for those, we put on a lot of sediment filters.
I see.
And so for that, we always stick with our 3M AP904.
Do you work with any labs at all on the well water to send samples out for testing at all? Or?
We don't. No, sir. No, we always have that. We kind of put that back on the homeowner to, if they want it tested or if they've had it tested, they'll reach out to us.
Yeah, that's probably.
Our builders will do it, though, and that's just kind of driven by the builder, though, too, right? Whoever they choose to use for that.
So that's a good. So on the custom high-end home building, is almost all those homes have a softener and whole house filtration system built in, or?
You'd be surprised. It's really only about 50-50.
Really?
So it's really only, we have it as an option in our proposal, and some people love it and jump all over it, but really it's only about 50-50. There's not down the road as an afterthought. Yeah, we'll get a lot of callbacks for those, but not while we're in the process of actually roughing in the house or finishing it out.
So after they have lime scale build up or the shower doors or pain in the ass to clean or whatever, then they go, hey.
Exactly. They have a brand new house with everything beautiful except for that. Like, hey, can you come back out?
Yeah, all that stone and tile in the showers and baths. So yeah, or those fancy sinks and faucets, right? Building up lime scale to get that crap off my faucet. How about in the leak detection? Do you guys get into the mitigation side of that at all, or do you refer that out to like mitigation restoration companies?
Yeah, we don't get into any water mitigation, and we don't really refer it out either.
I see.
We've never gotten into the referral. Our go-to is always talk to your home insurance company, and they can refer you. And I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just one of those things where if we refer out a company, we do refer out like a few HVAC companies when people call us, because a lot of customers combine HVAC and plumbing. We do
Right.
HVAC. So we have a great company that we refer out for that, or we have a few electricians that we refer out. But if we ever had a water mitigation company that we wanted to refer out, it would really be one of those things where I'd want myself and my field manager, Bobby, to kind of sit down and talk to them, because ultimately it's not that they won't do a good job, but if you refer it, then the homeowner blames you too for it.
You bet.
I don't want us going down for bad work that wasn't our fault.
Yeah, that you get nothing. Well, maybe you get a referral fee, but your reputation gets hurt along the way. So it is very tricky world to refer businesses. The mitigation world, though, so we've talked to a lot of plumbers and we do business with a lot of them. And that mitigation world is actually pretty interesting. They're just taking out wet materials.
Yep.
And putting it, sealing off the area, putting in dryers, dehumidifiers. And they will make as much money or more than the plumber who just found a leak, capped the leak, maybe did a reroute. There's a chunk of money in that mitigation sector, not the restoration, not bringing it back, not building it or rebuilding it, but in that just removing the wet materials. And what is it, IICRC certification? So that's something some plumbers should look at. If you're already, and it works better if you're in a foundation home. You're in an area where homes have slab foundations.
Okay.
So all the homes have foundations, slab foundations, because there's the slab leak itself becomes a problem. Yeah. And if they have tile or wood floors, continuous flooring, then the insurance company will usually pay for that reroute to not disturb the floor and go up and over.
Right. The insurance got to take care of you. Well, I mean, I know of a few plumbing companies. What is it? I think Blue Frog and Restoration One are owned by the same company. And then I think Roto-Rooter. I mean, they're all the bigger guys, right? I'm pretty sure. Like Water
Service Master and
something like that. Yeah.
Serv Pro, I think was the other guy. Yeah. Anyway, for the plumbers out there who are looking for another little market, there is a possibility. If you're already going on a lot of leaks, doing a lot of slab leaks, take a look at IICRC. I'm sure YouTube has a lot of, channels on there on how to do mitigation. I was blown away. I had a slab leak. One of my plumber clients came in and helped me, and we encountered that exact thing. I had continuous tile floors. He's like, nope, we'll call the insurance company. They will pay for the reroute. They did. They paid for his cap, his leak detection, his capping, reroute. Then another company came in, did the mitigation. They got paid like double what he got paid for the reroute.
Holy cow.
We immediately saw that as, whoa, that's a nice little opportunity center for a lot of plumbers out there.
Right. No, it is. It definitely is. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, food for thought. I don't know how well it works if you have a leak, like a upstairs leak, it doesn't have to be a slab, right? It could be a second-story leak in the bathroom upstairs. And, rained water down in the kitchen, you got massive damage. Again, you just need to remove it, right? So you get trained, of course, on how to do it, IICRC, but I have no affiliation with them, by the way.
No, that's
promoting them for. I just like where you can help the homeowner more. It's one less company. So if you're the homeowner, now you got three companies. You got the plumbing, you got the mitigation, restoration. Potentially, the mitigation restoration is one company, but you might have three. So better to deal with fewer companies if you're the homeowner as well.
Absolutely. One point of contact keeps it nice and easy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I ramble on a little bit there.
No worries.
How about some great resources? What comes to mind as far as running your business or on the plumbing technical side? Any resources you recommend at all, Taylor? Websites or organizations?
From a technical standpoint for our guys in the field, they'll go to a lot of our local reps. So whether it's a Delta rep or Kohler rep or Moen rep,
nice.
We'll go to them. So in terms of online, we really don't use a lot of that. I'm sure there's phenomenal stuff out there, but if we run into an issue, we call either our vendor or the local rep for it so we can get some answers on it. And they get back to us same day, if not at that exact moment that we're on site. So it's hard to recommend a website. I guess just from a strictly kind of business standpoint, in terms of resources, Google, I keep going back to Google, but I think that's going to work at all.
Google rules the world.
Yeah, exactly. We all just going to have to adapt to them. But they have these online courses on how to set up your marketing plans, how to set up Google My Business. So
nice.
And you can get quote unquote certified in them, right? Like it's this little course that you go through. You don't have to pay for it. It's complimentary, but
good advice.
But that's what I would check out. And I forget the exact name of them, but if you type in Google My Business, course or Google LSA course, or I think the biggest one or the best one that has helped me the most is the Google Ads course. Because again, Google Ads, I mean, what's that old system where it was black and I'm not going to remember it, but
an online system?
No, like the old computer system where it was real old school, bad technology. That's how I feel Google Ads is. It's you get into it and it's just a world of keywords and different things that if you don't know what they're referring to, you're going to get lost in it. So taking that course has been very helpful.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice because most service companies need Google Ads, NLS local service ads. And yeah, you need to know what the heck's going on. Even if you hire a company, you still should dive in a little bit yourself and learn. And like you say, take Google Ads certification courses and stuff because you can lose a lot of money really fast.
Absolutely. And even if you have a third-party marketing company, it's nice to know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Even if you're not the one putting it together, at least having a good idea of what they're talking about. So you can have a conversation about where you want to go with.
Yeah, great advice. And you're right, Google. So Google Search Central is one spot, and then business.google.com, I believe. Or you can go on YouTube and Google's channels. And the Google Business Profile has a bunch of videos on there. So yeah, and Google Ads too. So yeah, you can learn a lot if you have some time. And you should, because like you said, you're definitely going to be in that world. And you should be able to talk, even if you have a third-party company doing it for you.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. So let's get close to wrapping it up. What inspires you what keep going? What gets Taylor's legs off the bed and on the floor in the morning, get you going, get your blood going, juices riled up?
Well, I think I love working with our employees every day. They're all great. Most of our employees have been with us a few of them have been with Copperhead since the inception, and the newest span one's 4 months. But that's just as we continue to grow, we'll get new employees. But it's always fun talking to them. We have a great group of guys right now. Fun seeing them in the morning, chatting with them and just getting going. But then I think, the other thing is too, right? Second generation of kind of ownership now and continuing it on and watching it grow every day and turn into something bigger and bigger each day is always fun. We talked about back at 7, it being 3 or 4 trucks. Now we're up to 11 or 12. And so
nice.
It's fun to see that growth and see the impact that it has on our employees, watch our employees grow internally. Since I've been here, we've seen a few employees who've been with us for a long time, moving to running their own trucks and getting their journeyman license. And so it's always exciting to see that and see the excitement that comes with it for them. It's no different than when you or I started out in a career and you would grow. You have that sense of fulfillment. So it's fun to watch that in them and continue to grow it.
I like it. Several times through the interview, Taylor, you mentioned your people. It's all about the people. So that's what makes a great business owner, I think. It's the basic foundation of it. So hats off to you for having that internal mojo on your own. It's all about training and improving the lives of others, your customers and your staff. So hats off to you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. No, and I mean, like I said, that's been our focus since 2007, well before I was here, and continues to be our focus today. So it's always fun when you have people who've been with you that long and a culture like that. So I'd love to take the credit for it, but that started with Brian and the guys that started it and just continues today. So
yeah, it started with your dad, exactly. But you keep it going. So it's hard to get that second generation to jump on board and take your business and improve upon it also and expand it. And so, great job, man. Way to go.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Where can listeners connect with you online? Clients, maybe people looking for plumbing jobs and stuff. So plug your website or email or whatever you got going on there.
Yep, absolutely. So our website's Copperhead Plumbing Inc.com. Obviously, we're out of Denver, Colorado. Our Google My Business is Copperhead Plumbing Inc. as well. And if they want to email us, they can email us at info@copperheadplumbinginc.com.
Excellent. Yeah, appreciate that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Taylor, thanks for your time. I hope the audience got some little tidbits of value in there. I'm sure they did. We really appreciate you coming on.
No, this has been great. Thanks for having us, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. So again, thanks to our listeners for sharing your time with us. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, subscribe to our podcast so you get notified of future episodes. Feel free to share this one on your social channels. Good luck out there and create a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast. To power up your home service business, for show notes, visit battleplanmarketing/podcast. If you enjoyed our show, please share it on social. Until next time.